Hey guys, I'm Ash.
And I'm Pete.
We're two friends with a combo of 7 kids ranging from toddlers to 20s and 2 crazy husbands.
Our paths were not easy. With childhood battle wounds, divorce, second marriages and all, we somehow found each other. And together we talk real life, laugh, cry, and figure out how to survive the day.
Music is by Dustbowl Champion. To hear Dustbowl Champion's newest hits, search Dustbowl Champion on Spotify. Hey guys, it's Ash and Pete.
Hey.
Welcome back.
I almost said it.
You did?
Yeah. I don't know.
You're getting a little too wild lately.
I'm getting rusty.
Rusty?
Rusty in my roots.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not good with names. I was just thinking you were just getting so excited to record.
No, I am excited to record.
I know. Me too.
I had to go back and play the ending of the last episode because I needed to remember. And yeah.
I'm glad you remembered because I
don't.
Mm-mm.
Okay. How was 420? Did you do any drugs?
I didn't do any drugs, and my kid seems to be drug-free also.
That's good.
He does remind me, just so that you're aware, which I'm like, he's like, Mom, I know I didn't do this, and I know I didn't do that. When he's like trying to prove to me, like, Mom, I've been doing really good, right?
Yeah.
Like, Mom, I know I didn't do this, and I know I still need to do that, but like, you don't understand how many times I've been offered weed and I turned it down. And I'm like, why are you offered weed so much?
Yeah.
He's like,
when?
I don't, at school all the time. Apparently it happens frequently. I don't understand it because
is weed offered so much at school? Like at what points of the day? Like lunch? Like
no, they don't do it at lunch because then the lunch monitors are out. So it's like the way I imagine it, and maybe I need to get confirmation from him, is anytime he's in the bathroom.
Do they vape it?
Yes. But why are strangers offering? Like, first of all, if I was doing drugs, which I would have been way too afraid to at school.
But you'd be paying for that, so you're not going to just give it away for free?
Yeah. Yeah, and not only that, but I don't need a little narc telling on me. Are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that should be a concern of theirs?
Mm-hmm.
Kids are so dumb.
Kids are very dumb.
So, yeah, but apparently he's offered it multiple times a day, like every day at school. I don't understand it.
I guess I'll have to ask Tristan.
Yeah.
Are you offered drugs?
You are going to sound so funny if you ask her that.
Well, I know. It doesn't matter. Anything I say to her is annoying and stupid, so I can say it however.
But that's very true. But I feel like girls aren't as into drugs. Like, I remember being in school and, like, the guys we hung out with would do different things or whatever. But as girls didn't really.
I mean, I think it's like this truly for all kids. The busier you keep them, the less likely they are. But boys are so, like, which even at that point, unless they are like in a sport, on a team, blah, 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 which granted, their teammates can all be doing it. They can all be whatever. But right. I feel like boys are just like, yeah, let's do that. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's true. But why not girls?
Because I feel like girls have more pressure on other things.
Oh, okay.
I feel like there's other things that they have pressure to be accountable for, I guess. I don't know how to say that. But.
I could see that. I was talking with a girlfriend from, we went to a year of elementary school together, but junior high and high school. And our kids are, her son's, like, her older son is a year older than Hayden, and then her younger son is, like, 6 months younger than Hayden. Like, they're very close.
Yeah.
And I was telling her about everything. And she was like, she was like, thank God I don't have to worry about this. She said her older son, he's like he does track and, well, I don't know, he runs all the freaking time, cross country track, I'm assuming both. But she said she doesn't really have to worry about that because since he's in sports and drug testing. But I think that's really a scare tactic, right? You know, when
Yes.
Kyla used to cheer, they would drug test them.
That's
But
great.
I don't think here that they do.
I don't really feel like they do either.
I could be wrong though. Maybe I should ask.
Here's the interesting thing about it. I feel like our kids went to the same elementary school.
Yeah.
And I would say had great opportunities to play whatever sport.
Right.
Get involved and find their way through whatever path of co-curriculars they wanted.
Right.
Like they had the ability to play football, baseball, drama, student body, whatever, whatever cheer, whatever it is that they wanted to do, it was very easy for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't like, oh, only the popular kids could get into cheer or whatever. I feel like it was pretty much, if you wanted to try it, you could try it and you could do it. And why our kids didn't gravitate to any of those. I mean, Tristan stuck with drama.
Yeah.
She did stick with drama.
My kids aren't very athletic. So that it's hard to do that. I don't know why, Hayden loved drama in elementary school. I don't know why it wasn't something he was interested in going into junior high.
Did he think he was going to get into a sport or something different?
I don't think so. No.
Did he ever talk about it in 6th, going like into 7th?
That he wanted to do drama? No. Mm-hmm. He knew it was an elective, like that he had it as an option for an elective, but it wasn't anything that he really cared to do. Which they don't have a whole
Maybe it
lot.
Was the kids.
Maybe. Maybe. They don't have a whole lot of options really for electives going into junior high.
I don't think so either.
It's kind of sad.
It is.
But I mean, and looking back, I don't know that I really had a lot of options myself. Mm-hmm. But it was not, he did not look at it at all. He wasn't interested. And I don't know why. I wish he would have.
Yeah. Well, we kind of talked about this on the last episode a little bit about, I feel like today's kids, well, if I'm being totally honest and real, I feel like we have a generation of children that scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I really, truly, in my heart of hearts, feel like they're the weaker generation.
Absolutely.
They really are. Like if I'm being honest, and I love my child, and this isn't what I want for them. If I'm really, truly being honest, I feel like they are the weaker generation. And I sit back and I think about, like, did our parents feel this way?
I don't know.
Did all of this? But I truly, truly feel like, no, there is a disconnect.
There is.
With them. And I don't know what it is, except social media and the ability to have things at their fingertips that we didn't have growing up like them.
Right.
No, at all, like not nearly as easy as it is for them, and the influences that are coming in and the people that I feel like there is, I said it in the last episode, where I feel like they're at war every day. And I really, truly do feel that way, because I feel like they're being tested in different ways that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And it's so scary because I don't know how to fix it. And I feel like if I don't know how to fix it,
How
I'm
do
sure
they know how to fix it?
they don't know how are they ever going to fix
Right.
it? And how many other parents are out there not knowing how to fix it? And I look at my two younger girls and I pray that they can overcome what this world is today.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. Does it get worse? I fucking hope not. I don't know how
The
much worse
scary
it could
thing
possibly
is
get.
that I think it does get worse. I think it does because you think about it.
Well,
And
can
this-
you go find me on an island somewhere? Can I just go move and like I'll teach my kids about eating from coconut trees and I don't know, but
I mean, that might be an option. But if you really, okay, so I guess I could be wrong. There are a couple of things I think that I do see happening in society. One thing is that I do think that people who weren't paying attention before are paying attention. I think that such crazy things have been said and done that people who may not have ever looked into stuff before are going, wait, what's happening?
Yeah.
Wait 1 minute. Like there's that. So there are people that are like waking up to certain things that are going on.
Do you know how I feel about homeschooling our children?
Yeah.
And I have been so against it since I was.
If you do homeschool, will you homeschool mine?
I don't want to homeschool.
You taught yourself really well.
Well,
you did a great job teaching yourself.
Our kids will be little sailors. They will cuss a lot.
That's okay.
They'll love Jesus, but they'll cuss a lot.
That's okay.
So here's the thing. I have always been against it because I feel like the social atmosphere is so important for children.
Yes.
And learning how to socially live in society is so important that children miss out on when they are homeschooled. But in today's world, the world that we are living in today, in the last, let's say 3 years, I feel like I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Like if you can't do private school, which even private school is still scary because they still have to, there are still state guidelines that they have to follow. In a sense, maybe not totally like a public school, but there are some. But but maybe you can't even afford that. I totally get it because I think it's super scary.
Yeah.
I think it's really difficult as a parent to accept what is going on. And I will tell you, it's funny because my boss said something the other day. We were talking about our kids and blah, 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 blah. And they said, he said something about, which I've always stood up for Tristan's schools and said, look, I don't regret sending her to these schools, this school. I feel like, it is what you make of it. Anyone can get a great education anywhere. I feel like it's a diverse atmosphere. I feel like
there is value in that.
Yes. I feel like there are amazing teachers. I've involved myself. She has done very well. It's a great school. Well, in the last few years, as she's progressed and into high school, I am not happy with the school. And so he said something the other day and he said, well, I know you like her high school and maybe the kids will go there. And I said, absolutely. They will not go there.
Yeah.
They will absolutely not go there. I'm very, very disappointed. I'm very disappointed as a parent and as someone who always backs the school before my child.
Right.
In so many ways, I'm very disappointed. And I got to tell you, COVID has just rocked everything, even people, we talk about it at work sometimes. It's like, you ever notice COVID kind of made some people a little wackadoodle. They're a little crazy. Yeah. Some people are a little off.
Right.
Some people believe in lizard people. Some people believe in, some people went way left, way right, way out the fucking window. Some people are still scared.
Mhm.
Some people are, it's just changed our world.
It really did. I mean, it caused such divide that where people used to be a little more in the middle, they really went one way or the other.
Yeah.
I don't know what about. I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, you're looking at COVID, and it had to do with people's health, and it played on fear. There was a lot that was, things that were followed, quote unquote, scientifically, that were not really
to say
based
COVID was not a real
no
thing.
COVID was
totally.
COVID is a real thing.
Yes.
It's for sure real.
Yeah.
However,
but man, it fucked people up.
Mm-hmm.
They fucked people up. The news,
yeah,
what you listened to, what you heard, and it's so interesting. So I don't remember if I talked about this on one of the episodes, but I had gone away to a work convention. I know I kind of mentioned that, but listening to other cities talk about how their city has dealt with things with COVID and events and community events and services and stuff, it is so like mind blown to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've always said like I have a hard time sometimes. I love this. Don't get me wrong. I'm very blessed to live in the state we live in, where we have mountains and beaches and beautiful land. We've said that before, but I have felt like there are politically, there are things where I struggle with as a person to want to stay here, except my family is all here and I want to be by my family.
Right.
But I also know that looking at what other cities go through, I'm like, well, shit, thank God we live where we live. I'm not sure that I could live anywhere in this state other than where we live, because this is crazy. Like in doing the line of work that I do, no way. No. It's crazy. But anyway, I just have to say, like, it's something that kind of resonated with me when I was listening to the last part of your of our podcast, where it was like, our kids have really gone through so much, and Hayden is a good boy. He's confused and lost like so many others, and not to say like kids have been lost and confused for years. That's not it, but it's just a different time.
It is. And it's so sad. I wish I could remember exactly what. Oh my gosh. I listened to, talk radio because I'm like an old lady here. I know. But they had brought up how basically the teachers unions went in and essentially said like no about kids going to school. Like they're what shut it down, when there really wasn't any, like there was no science behind it. It was just what the teachers union was wanting. And I just think about, kids are messed up especially in like early teenage years and teenage years. Kids are messed up in general, like on a normal everyday thing, because you're going through so many hormonal and emotional and different changes, figuring things
pressures,
out, all of that.
Either peer pressure from your family, pressure from school, pressure for keeping everything together and figuring yourself out. Yeah.
It's just like teenage years are a hard time in general, but what COVID and not being at school did to kids. And I just think about, if my kid would have been one of the kids that committed suicide during this time. I mean, you know, the mental health numbers skyrocketed for kids
Yes.
during this.
Yeah.
It was outrageous,
Yeah.
right? Like, my kid started back in therapy. Your daughter went through a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Like, where it's
Which
like,
I'm still fighting insurance about.
Oh, gosh.
Don't even
yeah.
go there with
Yeah.
me. Oh, it's so frustrating.
So I just think, like, we're lucky that it wasn't worse than it was with our kids.
Yeah.
You know, they did struggle with it.
They did.
But there are kids that ended their lives during that time.
Yeah.
And I just think, if I were a parent that I lost my kid during that time, I would be furious knowing that our kids were hit like this without any science behind it. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I cannot imagine being one of those parents. How can people sleep at night?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you are purposefully doing these things for your own agenda, and you don't give two shits about these kids that you're supposed to be wanting to help and make better and blah blah blah. Like, you don't care at all. I just, when they said that, I was about how that is why the CDC, you know, did all that stuff, was because of the influence the teachers union had on it, and had nothing to do with the science behind it. And it's like, that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are kids that died.
Mm-hmm.
Kids killed themselves
Mm-hmm.
because of what was going on. And like, they're just scotch-free. It's sickening. It's disgusting.
Very.
Yeah. I don't know.
I want to take a quick break. I want to come back. And honestly, I feel like there's a lot going on with both of us right now. And a lot of it has to do with parenting, and on a different level. I've talked a lot about being a parent to toddlers. I've talked a lot about being a parent to a teenager, but there's just so much going on right now with our lives, with our kids, with our older kids.
Yeah.
That it's hard not to discuss. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back.
Hey.
And there may be some little voices in the background.
Yes. And big voices. Big and little. It's okay. Okay. So you wanted to discuss all of this nonsense going on with our children.
I know. It's a very hard pill to swallow. There's a lot going on with them. I can't help but feel like this is a different time. Like, this is different from when we were little. Like, this is different from when our parents were growing up. I can't help, and maybe I'm just a dramatic parent. I don't know.
Maybe our kids are dramatic. I don't think it's you.
But I feel like it's just a different attack.
I agree. I do feel like our kids are being attacked.
I feel it in, like, I don't know.
And
it's crazy.
Like I've said this before, I think I'm lucky in the fact that a lot of the noise and nonsense that I feel like I do feel like it is aimed a lot at the girls. I know that there are boys, and my girlfriend was like, oh, the one that I was telling you about earlier. She said, oh, it's happening with boys too, which I know it is happening with boys too. I think it's just the girls are impacted so much more because I think as females, we are much more emotional people.
Yes.
Our emotions play so much in every decision, everything we do, right? Like I look back and I think that, and I don't remember a lot about how I acted as a teenager, but I know that I had a lot of feelings, right? Like you're just a ball of feelings.
Yes.
And I know boys have feelings too and things like that. I just think that I feel like I'm lucky because I don't think my boys are being hit as hard. And I don't know why. I've asked them before and they'll say like, "Oh, well, I'm like, "But what have we done different? Like we haven't done anything differently than anyone else, right?" You know what I mean? Like I don't know why they're not being impacted the same. Maybe my boys don't have emotions. I don't know. You know?
I think that the society that we live in today, and I know I sound like an old lady sometimes when I talk.
You're talking to Mildred here,
yeah,
okay? Don't say that.
Sorry, Mildred. But I feel like it plays off of our young girls because our girls have emotion and have big hearts.
Yes.
And I will say, like, for my daughter, it's like she tries to look at the good in everyone.
Yes.
And so, looking at the good in everyone, she wants to stand up for everyone.
Right.
And then that has somehow slithered ideas into our kids' minds that I feel like have taken them down a path that I don't agree with, you know?
Yeah.
And look, I'm all for equality and I'm all for, look, I don't think that we had this discussion the other day. It was very interesting. And this is another podcast, but basically, you know, in a nutshell, we wrapped it up with me telling her, look, it doesn't matter what someone, in my eyes, I didn't choose to be a girl.
Right.
I didn't choose to be a brown girl.
Right.
I didn't choose to have the parents that I chose.
Well, I didn't choose to be a white girl, and I'm offended by the tan that you got this afternoon in like 5 seconds. Okay,
I really did.
I find offense to that.
I know my Instacart. Okay, I am. You know, just very fancy that I was laying out in the sun and fell asleep, and my Instacart came. And
you had a tan line.
I had a tan line. And when I woke up, I saw her messages, which I was like sweating. I cannot believe how hot it was out there.
You saw your Instacart?
And I was like, oh my God, she was messaging like, should I replace it with this? They don't have this, yada, yada, yada. And I never got back to her. So I woke up and it said,
big tip.
It said, I did. She was awesome. Super, super sweet girl. So when I woke up, it was like, your Instacart's on its way. It'll be there in like 10 minutes. And I had beer coming, so I had to show my ID or whatever. So,
even though your daughter didn't have to ID you the other day when she sold you alcohol.
So I get up and I come inside and whatever, and she's like, she rings the doorbell. I was like, oh wow, that was quick. And she's like, hi, I'm sorry, I was, messaging you. I was like, I am so sorry. Now I feel like an asshole because I'm like this. I'm sorry, I fell asleep when I was laying out. Okay, and she's
while you're busting your butt.
I know, right? I sound terrible, but I really did look at my leg and I was like, oh,
I know. I really am jealous. Okay, because I won't get that shade difference this entire summer. That small like window that you had,
but you didn't choose that. That's just
and
what
it's
you
really
were born.
I know, and it's
how you were born.
And we should love it, right?
And you should love it. And you know what? You should love
everything.
I
don't hate it. I would like to be more tan.
Right. But obviously we're not going to love every piece of ourselves.
No, we're probably going to dislike most of us.
Yes.
Right? Like we're going to be our biggest critics.
But nobody chose to be that. I didn't choose my parents. I didn't choose what I look like. I didn't get to choose.
You want to know what my son says? You chose to have me. I didn't choose to be born. I'm like, I didn't choose you.
Oh, really? I chose to have a baby.
Yeah, I didn't choose you.
I would have preferred to have like this genius that was going to like win the spelling bee at 3 years old.
Amazing kid who was going to allow me to retire before now.
Yes. But that was my message to her was nobody chooses anything.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, everyone is treated the same and is treated equal. Now, I will tell you
By
this.
you.
By me.
Not
society, but by me. But I did tell her, I said, now I'm going to also say this. This is why I harp on you about the way you look, because in my opinion, the way you present yourself means a lot too.
Yes.
And I could look like my mom used to always tell me, you take care of your hair and you take care of your face. It doesn't matter if you can't afford nice clothes. It doesn't matter whatever. You take care of your hair and you take care of your face. So when my daughter doesn't do it, it's like everything in my body is like, you are so like, you do not look like you just rolled out of bed.
Don't you also think that's kind of funny? Because I know, and
I'm not like here is the crazy thing. We have a friend that's like,
oh yeah,
that girl gets up and puts her makeup on before her husband like sees her face.
I
like
know.
She's like a 50s housewife that's like,
right. And she also sews their Halloween costumes too.
Yeah, and she's
Shout
like cute and pretty. She's like cute and pretty and sweet and like all of those things. And I'm like, you're not human. You were like brought into this earth from another time.
Yeah, you must have come from where Superman came.
Yeah, like it's like she came out of one of those. What did they call them when they used to be down like in the basements? Like in the 60s, they built them in case
bomb shelters.
Yeah, like she came out of a bomb shelter.
And it was all these years later. Yeah. And because she's taken such good care of herself, she looks younger than us.
Yeah, but she's really like 500 years old.
Yeah.
Or just, 80.
But, right. But don't you think it's kind of funny because and I know you're saying like, it's not like you're always wearing your Sunday best. Right? I don't. Okay. But
I'm not always wearing my Sunday best at all, even on Sundays.
However, I do have to say, and your husband made a comment about this, that you you present yourself very well. You do. Like, I remember when I first met you, I was like, dang, this girl must be like a boss bitch because you were always very business professional. Like you always looked very
a nobody.
But you looked good, dang it. You sold yourself. I had no idea who you were, and I assumed that you held this high position. You are a take charge. You know your stuff. You are on it. You're constantly questioning stuff. You present yourself well. You look good. I probably came looking like a piece of trash because that's how I look on a normal basis, but you didn't. And I also think it's funny because your ex-husband also, even though his fashion may be different than, say, a typical person, he does
than 99% of our,
but he does
dress
himself up, right?
Yes.
Like he is not
whatever
a sloppy
way it
person.
Is. No,
it's his fashion, but he does
his way. But that's his presentation of himself, which is always together.
Yes,
it may not
match
not
your style, but
that I've ever known in my whole life.
Right,
but it is his style.
You look at him and you don't think like, oh gosh, this guy just rolled out of bed. But then she doesn't care.
We have this child that like doesn't care about what she looks like, and for her, it's like, okay, I get it, Mother Earth.
My boys wear sweats.
I get it, Mother Earth. It's like, why? I'm not here to impress anyone. Yes and no.
But I do
it's not about impressing someone else. It's about having pride in yourself and about carrying yourself to where you have the even when you have zero self-esteem, because my presentation of myself is not because I think so highly of myself. It is because I am taking pride in myself to say, I am not going to look like that even when I feel like that.
Right.
Because let's be honest, when you feel low, when you feel fat, when you feel ugly, when you feel whatever, frumpy, whatever you want to say, can you not don't you feel like when you don't dress yourself, when you don't try at all, that you just live in it?
Yeah, absolutely. I know kids aren't going through the same thing,
I
but
feel like
it
that's
is
part of it.
It is, because I had a girlfriend who, after I had Hayden,
Because they look like hobos.
they do. They really do.
do.
It is a thing. I didn't have like postpartum or anything after Hayden, but I did get into a, like, I would sleep until 11 in the morning. Okay, 11 that's a long
That's a long time.
that's like a late. Okay, so my kid thought it was cool to be up at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Like, we had a little bit of a rough time. So I would sleep until like 11. I would get out of bed. I'd be wearing chonies, some grandma chonies, right? Because after you have a baby, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to be comfortable.
Grandma chonies.
Yeah.
And a nursing, my nursing spaghetti straps that I wore up until like 4 years ago, right?
Tops.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would wear those all day. And my girlfriend was like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, like, I'm fine." She's like, "What's your schedule like?" Well, I'm like, "Oh, told her like I was struggling a little bit with this." She's like, "You need to wake up every day, and you need to, whether you're going somewhere or not, you need to put your makeup on and you need to get yourself dressed. Stop." And I wasn't even like having an issue, but it was so true. Like, you don't get out of and I could have gone like down, right?
Yes.
But you don't get out of funks by staying there.
So, this happens to moms a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna switch gears here. So, as a mom, you've heard of like the moms and whether that's applying to yourself or you've seen it in other people who, after kids, really let themselves go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can say it's because they focus on so much on the kids, or you could say it's because I'm focusing so much on the kids. Whatever that may be. I'm not saying it's not true. It's probably 100% true.
Right.
But the problem with that is you've lost yourself.
Right.
You've lost yourself because you forgot what your self-worth was.
Right.
Because you're so wrapped up in X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. Those are positive things, except you can't lose who you are.
Right.
And I think our kids who don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
Have lost that drive. And then, that is like, so like, that hits me like thinking about like, you're like post-COVID. Like you are.
Yeah, like instead of postpartum, they have post-COVID.
You've got post-COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how to get yourself out of this funk.
Well, remember what it was like when they first started school? Like going back, it was like, do I have pants? We had this conversation on the podcast. Do you have pants that fit you? Because you haven't worn pants in a long time.
Yes.
Like,
and
you were in chonies.
I literally, so we've been like really talking about like taking, like, this has been my thing this last week with my daughter. It's like, you need to like step up and take care of yourself. Like I have to be here. I have to remind you, and you think I'm annoying and you think I'm whatever, but you're obviously in a funk and I have to pull you out and I'm not going to see you. So it's
good for you. Good for you for recognizing that though.
And I am to the point where, and I told her, I said, we've got a few things coming up. So it's a great excuse. I said, we've got a few things coming up. We have to go shopping for. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm to the point where everything you have right now is going to be thrown in the trash.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to start over.
Oh my gosh, what'd she say?
Oh, it gives her a total panic,
Oh, yeah.
She's like,
I don't have a panic attack medication, but I need one.
Yeah. I do not compute. Like, she is not, she is not. But I'm like, it has to. Because we can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. And I'm done because I can't let you keep falling into this. And you have to know that I love you enough to see it. And I love you enough to do something about it.
Yeah.
And if I didn't, I wouldn't say anything to you.
Right.
And you're a child, and that's okay. You don't want to be a kid because you want to be an adult, but you're not an adult.
Yeah.
So you're a child. And my role as a mom is to step in when you can't.
Yes.
It's to help you when you can't help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And however that may be, that's my role.
Yeah.
You don't like it. You may not understand it. All of those things. But you know what? Maybe there's a chance that one day you'll be grateful that I did it.
You'll appreciate it. So
and I don't know if that day will ever really come, but let's just say
Maybe
it does.
won't, but it
But
could.
it's still the point where I'm not going to die tomorrow knowing I didn't do anything.
Yeah. And not only that, but the things that you're telling her you want her to work on are not things that she's going to look back and be like, I hate you because you told me to put deodorant on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like,
you made me wear a medium-sized shirt when I wanted to wear a triple X.
yeah,
You know?
no, I can't say. It might be like, yeah, my mom didn't let me wear like the style I wanted to.
Right.
But big
Well,
deal. There are girls that want to dress like hoes and their parents
And
don't let them dress like
I
hoes.
go back to that all the time with her. I'm like, you know, Tristan, I wouldn't let you wear
a skirt that showed your choo-choo.
yeah, I wouldn't let you dress like a hoe. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to let you dress like a hobo. Like, it's just not
Yeah.
going to happen.
But
It's
also,
not okay. And I'm done with allowing, I've kind of like tried to let it like
it's
back
hard.
up a little. You're harping on all of these other things. Maybe back off of this and let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, school coming in.
Yeah.
You know, let's see kind of where the influence
and the way
goes.
they dress is hard too, because you do feel like, Kate, are they expressing themselves? Like, I don't want to tell them like, no, like, ew, you're not okay, right? You know, like, I mean, my boys are just wearing sweats and a shirt, so it's not like they're trying to express themselves,
I wish
right?
that my kids just wore uniforms forever.
That would work. That would work.
I would
too.
be okay with the uniform.
I would be
in
okay with
public
that
school.
too.
Everybody is the same,
Yeah,
equal.
I know. I remember that being a conversation a lot when we were kids, and now they're going further away from that kind of thing. But I just think for myself, and it has to be this way for everyone. You know,
kids shouldn't be able to express themselves in clothes.
No.
I'm sorry. Express yourself on campus. Don't express yourself.
Express yourself in your journal, right? Goodness gracious, right? Learn to spell, learn to write, learn grammar, learn punctuation, write in a journal.
Mm-hmm.
But when I wear makeup, I feel more awake.
Yeah.
I feel prettier.
Yeah.
I feel better about myself.
Yep.
Whether I'm wearing makeup because like a big boss is coming into the office, or I'm at a meeting, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing, I don't wear makeup every day at work because I'm lazy AF and I wake up where I have no time to put makeup on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on say like on a Saturday, maybe I'm not going to wear makeup, but if we're going to go out, I'll put something on because it does make me feel better about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I'm really fluffy right now. So I don't feel good in any of my clothes. I might as well put some dang makeup on. So maybe I jiggle while I'm walking, but at least my face looks good.
I feel
right?
Like that's, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, they may not want to do that, but I guess that's where we come in and we make them. Like, you don't always get to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's going to be better for, like if she's in a fun, getting up and putting herself together is going to make her feel better. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I mean, it makes me feel better.
Yep.
Like if I get myself done up, I feel better about myself. Right?
Yep.
I mean, we can't be the only ones that feel that way, right?
I feel,
it's like that has to be the way it is for almost everybody.
Yes.
I mean, why else would you get all done up for your wedding day? Right?
Right.
It's not because like that's just what you're supposed to do. It's because you want to look beautiful. You want to feel
you
pretty. You want to
feel
beautiful.
Yeah. You want to feel like you look your best.
Yes. Exactly.
And I feel like sometimes we move away from that, and really that's when we let a funk sit in.
Yeah.
And then it affects so many things, right?
Oh,
it affects our mood. It affects our sexual, everything with our partners.
Yeah.
So many things.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with the way we feel about ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
you're going to make her feel good about herself, which is good. I love
she's going to hate me
for a minute, but I love that you're telling her like, yeah, we need to go shopping. Like it's time. And I'm going to pull you out of this because you know what? That's one of those tough love things where it's like, that could be exactly what she needs. I mean, look, I'm thinking back, like, what about her olive romper?
I know.
So
cute.
Cute, right?
So cute.
She probably would never wear something like that right now.
Yeah, because all she does is wear big baggy shirts.
Yes.
And
but she
sweats and
needs her dang olive romper. Okay,
she does.
I'm just saying, you know.
And I told her, because we have a wedding to go to in a couple weeks, and I said, hey, at first I said, what about the dress? I said, because last year for prom, I bought her 2 dresses. She only ended up wearing one. I bought her 2 dresses. One was short, one was long. The one that was short was only like $40 or $50, and the other one wasn't that much more expensive. So I said, let's buy 2. Let's buy them both. And she couldn't decide. And I said, and then whichever one you don't wear, I'll take back. Well, she wore the long one. The short one, I didn't realize was like
final sale.
I forgot about that. I was like, oh shit. I was like, well, whatever. She'll use it for something. So I'm not quite sure that it would even still fit this year, but I said,
she also loses weight really quickly.
She does.
So if it's a weight thing,
she yo-yos.
I know.
And so I told her, I said, what about the black dress and she's like, I don't know. It's really basic. And I go,
put some cute jewelry on.
But I also was like, maybe she doesn't want to wear a dress. And I said, here's the thing. I don't care if it's a dress. I don't care if it's not a dress, but I'm going to tell you this right now. You're wearing something very nice, and we will go shopping for anything and everything. So you will look presentable, and like it or not, I'm going to have the final say.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one buying it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
And you also want her to look cute in those pictures when she looks back in 10 years. Also, you want your brother and sister-in-law to have her looking cute.
And that's a whole other story, because I have to tell you that I'm going to end it at this, and we can talk about this next episode. But she made a comment when we were talking about this of, because I said something about, it's not about, you think that I want you to look a certain way, and it's not like I have a picture in my head of how you're supposed to look.
But I want you in your own.
But I want you to look presentable. And she said, I feel like your issue with my looks are a reflection of you, and so you don't like it because it makes you look bad.
It makes you look sloppy.
But she's saying it's because I'm worried about how it makes me look.
No. Yes and no.
I know. We're going to leave it at that. Okay. We'll talk about it next time. Thanks, guys. Thanks for swapping with us.
Segment music by Callie Grace. For more of Callie Grace's hits, follow Callie Grace on iTunes and Spotify today.